freshest and most robust of enemies are here waiting.
Alright, we're getting towards that end. What that looks like.
Where is she?
I admire you, Ezio. But your bloodlust makes it hard to call you a friend.
Bloodlust. A strange insult from the man who ordered an attack on his own nephew.
He was to be kidnapped, Ezio, not killed.
I see. Kidnapped by the Byzantines, so that his uncle could rescue him and be heralded the hero.
More or less. Now, the keys.
First, the girl.
She's all yours.
Sophia!
Tell your men to back off. She's all yours.
All right. All right, let's climb a tower. Save the Dame. Well, that hooked blade stuff's coming in handy, it looks like. Alright, we're almost there. Almost there. Almost there.
Dannazione!
Teşekkürler efendim. Çok teşekkürler.
This thing I basically never use. Look at Ahmed, that slippery traitor.
Someone help me!
Are you hurt?
Not hurt, but very confused.
I did not mean to drag you into this. I'm sorry.
You're not responsible for the actions of other men.
All this will be over soon, but I need to recover what they have taken.
I do not understand what is happening. Ezio, who are these men?
Run!
Get in the carriage. We're gonna have a boss fight in a second. Remember, Ezio is an old man in his 50s. It's gonna come up in a second. I promise you. He's an old man. In his late 50s.
We are close. Keep steady.
Well, well. You have come to see me off.
I don't particularly care this carriage stuff, but it's fine. Bye. Useless fools. One of my armor broke, it looks like. It's fine.
Hold on! Hang on, Sophia!
Look out! Ezio!
He is a 50-year-old man. In his late 50s.
Are you hurt, Sophia?
I don't think so.
Hold on!
Obviously.
Doing this, like, fucking Uncharted-esque stuff.
Oh no!
This is very Uncharted.
Va bene. I am all right.
Soldiers, up ahead!
I see them.
This is so fucking weird. This is such a weird section. At the more or less the end of the game at this point too.
Sophia, you must be careful!
I know.
Steel yourself, Sophia! More soldiers!
Gotta keep killing soldiers, I guess. How many more are left? How many more are left?
Faster!
Let me see him with the hook and not the actual, like, the hidden blade. Ouch. Painful. What? This is so goofy. This is so goofy.
Out in the road!
It's also been on for a while. It's been on this parachute for a while. Yeah, this is also very janky. You're right, Onyx. This is very janky.
Please move.
Oh god. This map does not feel suited for this kind of finagling. Woo!
Your determination to be
God
challenged.
damn.
It was not so infuriating.
I like Liberation, but you're right, it is very janky. It's a fucking Vita game. Of course it's a little janky, but kind of a shame. Also, of note, is Revelations was also originally going to be a like a Nintendo DS game. It was meant for portable consoles, and they decided to make it a proper AC release later on. No, this is 100% correct. You you can look this up. This was originally going to be a 3DS game, like a portable game. And then it became apparent that the scope was big enough that it should actually be its own game. Because the scope kept creeping up. This was originally a fucking a portable
Ezio,
game.
look.
I don't care about the objectives.
Ah! Go, Ezio, I'm fine.
All right. Remember, Ezio is a man. In his mid to late 50s. Doing this shit. Having a fucking knife fight in midair. I believe that was the final boss we just fought. Of Revelations.
So what now, Ezio? How does this end?
I am wondering that myself.
Oh!
Uh-oh.
Soldiers! Selim is not your master! You serve the Sultan! You carry out his command alone! Where is he? Where is the Sultan?
He stands before you, brother. Father made his choice.
Selim! Stop! Please!
Dead. Final boss, ladies and gentlemen.
So, you are the assassin. Ezio Auditore. I am Selim, Suleiman's father. He speaks quite highly of you.
He is a remarkable boy with a magnificent mind.
Were it not for his endorsement, I would have you killed where you stand. Leave this place. Do not return.
What is this? Raising his sword like that. What the fuck are you thinking?
You did the right thing, Ezio.
What is that?
This is not your fight.
But where does one end and the next
Ezio, you're not an action hero. You're not fucking Rambo, my dude. It's so weird. Because the defining moment of Ezio's life is when he chose to spare Rodrigo Borgia in the Vatican. So to go from that man
Bill, good to see you.
to
Listen,
him
we've got a customs officer
is
waiting to
so
talk to
weird.
everyone. I hope you have something for us.
They forgot that the characters was to be
Passports and
like
papers for
reserved and compassionate.
Brilliant. So I'm what? A neurosurgeon now, am I?
You're a medical team from SUNY Upstate. Just back from Rome with your patient. Experimental gene therapy.
Good work. Let's get this over with.
Wait, look, this is crazy.
What's wrong?
I'm not sure, but Desmond's brain is lighting up like a string of firecrackers.
Good for those two. Proud of them. Probably of them.
Here it comes. What is that? What's going on? This is the end, Desmond. Scheduled for deletion. What are you doing? What is a man but the sum of his memories? We are the stories we live, the tales we tell ourselves. Don't do this. I'm saving you, idiot! Go! Go!
Yeah, it is kind of funny that Sean and Rebecca are the two, like, the two biggest characters.
I write these lines with a steady hand and a light heart. We are in Acre now, Sophia and I, with the 5 Masyaf keys in our possession, and all the time in the world. Sophia is a seasoned traveler, and a fine companion to have so far from home. Tomorrow we will make our way to Masyaf, and once there, into Altair's library, to fulfill our father's forgotten dream. Forgive the shortness of this letter, dear sister, for it is late, and we are tired. Perhaps, with luck, the next words you hear from me will be in person. Con affetto, Ezio.
We're at the end. The best part of this game by a country mile. But before we do that, because you talked about how Sean and Rebecca have, are kind of the most longest running characters in the game, in the series, I want to point out that they are such, like, a core part of Assassin's Creed at this point, that when the Magic the Gathering set for Assassin's Creed came out, they got their own card. They have their own Magic the Gathering card now. Sean and Rebecca. Agents. I just feel that's worth letting somebody know. Anyway, back to Assassin's Creed. Like, we can jest, but to some degree, they are the most important modern-day Assassin's Creed characters. Even though Layla is the new protagonist for the new modern-day stuff.
Such a climb. È così bello qui. This is where your order began?
We can joke, but they are the most important
thousands
characters.
Of years ago, but here it was reborn.
By the man you mentioned, Altair?
Altair ibn La'ahad. He built us up and set us free. He saw the folly of keeping a castle like this. It had become a symbol of arrogance and a beacon for all our enemies.
And the mandate for menacing hoods? Was that his idea as well?
I like this
you
conversation
mentioned
between the two
creed
of them.
before. What is it?
Nothing is true. Everything is permitted.
That is rather cynical.
It would be if it were doctrine, but it is merely an observation of the nature of reality. To say that nothing is true is to realize that the foundations of society are fragile, and that we must be the shepherds of our own civilization. To say that everything is permitted is to understand that we are the architects of our actions, and that we must live with their consequences, whether glorious or tragic.
Do you regret your decision to live as an assassin for so long?
I do not remember making that decision. This life, it chose me. For 3 decades, I have served the memory of my father and my brothers, and fought for those who have suffered the pain of injustice. I do not regret those years, but it is time to live for myself, and let them go. To let go of all of this.
And this is very good shit. I want to stop for a second and, like, just reflect on that conversation, because that is a man reflecting on his entire career, his life, and how it may not have been easy, but it is something that he did. Now, it might have been hard, how he might have been miserable at times, but it's something that he was a part of. We don't really get that kind of like reflection in video games too frequently, especially back then, back in 2011 when this was released. 2010, 2011. I don't remember the exact year. Like this is some pretty heavy work being done here at the end, and it's a very important discussion between him and so exactly, Onyx. You're correct, 100% correct. This is one of the rare positives of giving Ezio his trilogy and letting him develop from this teenager to an old, aged, wizened man. Now it's a little undercut by the fact that we just, went through this big-ass Uncharted set piece and stabbed someone while we were falling down a ravine. But if you ignore what just happened before this and just focus on this scene, this ending, and the burning of the docks, and the riots, and choking out an entire underground town of people. But if you ignore all of that and focus just on the strength of this scene, it's a very strong dialogue where he reflects on what the creed means, on what he has interpreted. Nothing is true, everything is permitted as meaning. How he applies that to his life. That's some really powerful stuff.
The end of the road.
I think that's worth taking the time to acknowledge. And it's also frankly why people leave this game with a high impression. Because this game ends on an extremely high note. A lot of the middle of Assassin's Revelations is kind of bland, kind of boring when it comes to the writing. This Sophia relationship didn't work for me. I didn't find them particularly compatible. The Sultanate questline feels like a distraction. The Masaev keys are more or less filler, where you are just platforming for most of those sections and not actually doing anything story related. A lot of the middle of this game is very weak. But this ending is very strong. It's very high quality writing. And because of that, what we're about to see, we haven't finished the ending yet, obviously. It leaves you on a high note. Some might cynically say artificially. But I think it's just they had an idea and they didn't know how to build up to that idea. That's what I would say if I was giving the most generous take, and I am willing to give them that benefit of the doubt.
Knowledge, above all else. Altair was a profound man and a prolific writer. He built this place as a repository for all his wisdom. He saw many things in his life and learned many secrets, both troubling and strange. Knowledge that would drive lesser men to despair.
Does that worry you?
Sophia, you should know by now that I am not a lesser man.
Ezio.
It's the, if you don't know what this puzzle is, this is the Altair constellation. So we are more or less using the keys of the Masaev keys to complete the Altair constellation. You don't understand why that puzzle makes sense. That is the solution.
You had better come out of there alive.
I plan to.
Because Altair means eagle. The Altair constellation is the shape of an eagle. Oh, this is a good fucking walk. I love that they give you this moment to be a little introspective. They deserve this. Deserves to have its moment to breathe, and I'm glad they chose to give it that. Like even this little bit of walking is such a huge
No books. No wisdom.
positive.
Just you, fratello mio.
And there is Altair's corpse. And the final Masaev key.
Requiescat in pace, Altair.
I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting to choke up a bit. This is a very good scene. This is a very powerful scene.
You have seen to my books.
Yes. Some we sent with the Polos. The rest will go with me to Alexandria.
Good. Very good.
Father, I do not understand. Why did you build a library if you did not intend to keep your books?
You should go. When the Mongols return, Masyaf must be empty.
I see. This is not a library at all. It is a vault.
It must stay hidden, Darim. Far from eager hands. At least until it has passed on the secret it contains.
What secret?
Go, son. Go be with your family. And live well.
All that is good in me began with you, Father.
The music does add to the emotional punch of this scene. I will say that it's very haunting.
In much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow.
Oh, we get to snuff out the
What does it tell
flames that Ezio just
What do you see?
put up. Oh, the way they mirror each other as they go to this room. Oh, that's so cool.
Of ones who came before, of their rise.
That's so cool.
But what happens to us, Altair? To our family? What does the apple say?
Who were the ones who came before? What brought them here? How long ago?
Get rid of that thing!
This is my duty, Maria.
This is so good.
Maria?
If you are asked, say I sent the apple away. Tell them I sent it to Cyprus, or Cipango, or that I dropped it into the sea. Tell them anything to keep men away from this place. This apple must not be found. Not until the time is right.
Sit a moment and rest. Oh man. This is good. This is good shit. And I do want to say that it is enhanced. Part of what gives this scene the gravity that it has is that not just with Ezio but also Altair. We've been with this cast. For 4 main games and a number of side games. Like both Ezio and Altair as characters were at the time the like fundamental core characters of Assassin's Creed. It was Ezio, Altair, and Desmond. They were the three central pillars of the franchise. Now it's obviously changed in the time since, but at the time, it was very important that it was very profound that Ezio and Altair would pass the torch on to Desmond in this scene. Seeing Altair pass it on to Ezio, who will in turn pass it on to Desmond, that was
Another artifact.
it was a heavy moment.
No. You will stay here. I have seen enough for one life. Desmond?
He's talking to me?
I heard your name once before, Desmond. A long time ago. And now it lingers in my mind, like an image from an old dream. I do not know where you are, or by what means you can hear me. But I know you are listening. I have lived my life as best I could, not knowing its purpose, but drawn forward like a moth to a distant moon. And here at last, I discover a strange truth. That I am only a conduit for a message that eludes my understanding. Who are we, who have been so blessed, to share our stories like this? To speak across centuries. Maybe you will answer all the questions I have asked. Maybe you will be the one to make all this suffering worth something in the end. Now, listen.
Do you hear me, Cypher? Can you see me? Ah, there you are. Good. A strange place, this nexus of time. I am not used to the calculations. That has always been Minerva's domain. I see you still have many questions. Who were we? What became of us? What do we desire of you? You will have your answers. Only listen, and I will tell you how. Both before the end and after, we sought to save the world. We built vaults within which to work, each dedicated to a different method of salvation. They were placed underground to avoid the war which raged above, and also as a precaution should we fail in our efforts. Each vault's knowledge was transmitted to a single place.
New York, New York.
It was our duty, mine, Minerva's, and Juno's, to sort and sample all that was collected. We chose those solutions which held the most promise, and devoted ourselves to testing their merits. 6 we tried in succession, each more encouraging than the last, but none worked. And then the world ended.
Right. So, in case people don't remember, back when this series was being developed, The Mayan apocalypse was still a very, very common conspiracy theory. It was believed that in 2012, the world would come to an end because that's when the Mayan calendar stopped. Obviously, the year is 2025. That was bullshit. But it was a very well-known and popular conspiracy theory of the era. This game was going. So that's why it was so a big part of the plot was the apocalypse. That it was coming, that we had to prevent it. Faces are PS2 era! This is like a fucking Deus Ex trailer. And so this is like the apocalypse we're trying to stop. Adam Jensen will return in Assassin's Creed chat. I mean, Elias Vexus was in Odyssey, so there is continuity there.
The earth shook for days, the fires burned for weeks, and when the ash had settled, less than 10,000 of your kind still lived, and far fewer of ours. But we carried on, together, to rebuild, to renew. Listen, you must go there, to the place where we labored and lost. Take my words, pass them from your head into your hands. That is how you will open the way. But be warned, much still remains in flux, and I do not know how things will end, either in my time or yours.
Now we're in New York City, or close to it.
Wait, look, his vitals are stabilizing. Something's happening. He's moving.
Desmond, can you hear me? Son?
I know what we need to do.
Revelations. Trophy earned.